Yeah, I think resiliency to me means like, we see the horrible stuff and you can kind of let it fall off of you and still go home at night and not be dwelling on things. Kind of like you said, I can't remember how you phrased it, but not letting things affect you. And they're going to affect you at some point. They're not always going to be easy to just let them go. But the more you can let things go, I think, and not pick up those burdens that aren't ours to bear, the better you're going to be able to do this job and the longer you're going to be able to do this job. On the provider side, sometimes it's, I talked with 12 consultants today and 6 of them really treated me like shit, like I don't know anything. And like, if you can just let that roll off of you, which is what I try to do, then you can go home at night and be a lot happier,
I think advocating for your patients is a huge thing. And we thankfully work in an environment, like even as an EMT, you can go up to the doctor and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Yes, as an EMT, you might not be able to do it, but that's something maybe the provider hasn't thought about because they are also dealing with so many other patients and so many other problems. Or even going up to the nurse and being like, hey, what do you think about this? Like I had a guy the other night, dog bite, tried to clean it without any numbing or anything. He was not handling it. So I went up to the doc. I'm like, hey, how do you feel about numbing that finger before we start cleaning it? She's like, that sounds great.
She's probably like, yeah, I should have probably been doing that already. Thanks for bringing that up. It's on my to-do list. But
well, honestly, to be fair, it did not look
to be fair.
Let's
go.
It did not look as bad as we thought it was initially. I took him back. I helped him literally just wash his hands with soap and water. And then you saw like almost the tip of the finger was almost just hanging.
Well, I think
just
that's
the tip.
Just the tip.
I think that's a great point, though. The nurses need to listen to the techs. The providers need to listen to the nurses. Because if they bring something to your attention and you ignore it, like it's only going to be a couple of those times before it bites you in the ass and you miss something important. Like that, like doing a digital block to make it so this finger's getting cleaned without severe pain. Like, yeah, I mean, that just needs to be done, and it probably just got overlooked. They probably intended to do it and then they got busy. And so if you didn't bring that to their attention, you just let the patient scream their head off while you're trying to wash their finger. That's not good patient care, but you're there physically with them. You see something that probably got missed and you bring it to their attention and we can provide better patient care as a result. So everything you hear today from myself and my guests is opinion only and doesn't represent any organizations or companies that any of us are affiliated with. The stories you hear have been modified to protect patient privacy, and any resemblance to real individuals is coincidental. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice nor used to diagnose any medical or healthcare conditions.
Well, we're all on the same team. I think sometimes we forget our main goal is giving the best patient care possible. And I think some people get offensive with that, or even we kind of almost sometimes become robots. I was in a severe trauma last week and, this patient, I don't know how he was still alive, skin sloughing off. He was getting put bilateral chest tubes in. He fallen down 80 feet. Whole face was broken and he was still GCS 15. I don't know how. Like it was just a straight miracle. But, all of these people come in and we're trying to give good care, but they're digging into this person's chest. This guy's screaming. I'm like, time. I'm like, we need pain meds. And they're like, nah. They're like, meh, it'll be okay. And I'm like, stop. And so a part of me, I was really nervous. I was like, no, I just need to shut up and just whatever, all these big honchos got a lot more degrees than me. I've been to stay quiet.
We've talked about this before, how the hierarchy is really just like, it's bullshit. It's really just in your mind. And Lucas, one of the episodes I haven't aired yet, said, like, as a physician, one thing I want everyone to know is I'm not your boss. Mm-hmm. I'm a higher level of care, but I'm not your boss. We're all a team. We all have our roles. And I was like, I've never really looked at it that before, because I think some people subconsciously think the higher up you are on the hierarchy, you're the boss. You're not. You're just a higher level of care.
Well, and it's all how some people act, though, too, how they come across, because, it's like that negative culture that we talked about. But that's wherever I stood up and I said, stop. I said, we need to get pain meds on board right now. And that patient whispered in my ear. He could barely talk. He was like, thank you. Yeah. And I was like, I got you, homie. Like, we need to pause and really think about this patient and what we're doing to them.